why aren't you wearing that fishing vest?
Well, the fishing vest has become kind of the signature item of clothing for IDPA competition.
That makes perfect sense.
Yes, it does. IDPA requires, as part of the theory behind that it's a sport that emphasizes defensive pistol skills, that if you're out walking the streets, you're not going to have your gun hanging out. And so in the early days, an article of clothing that you could wear that wouldn't draw attention to yourself on the street that would cover a holstered gun was a fishing vest or photographer's vest, which was kind of thigh length and was festooned with pockets already.
So does that mean anybody I see walking around the street with a photographer's vest on is probably carrying?
If they don't have a camera,
yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of like the idea that, oh, don't ever carry your gun in a fanny pack, because fanny pack screams gun.
Yeah.
Well, it only screams gun to people who know that they make fanny packs to hold guns.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with a vest. If you're an IDPA shooter, you might think everybody you see on the street who's wearing a vest is packing a gun. But your grandma sees somebody on the street wearing a vest, and she probably thinks, oh, they're on the way to the camera store. So, so the vest is your concealment garment. They come in multiple styles, materials, colors, and whatnot. I've been wearing this one for almost a year at matches, and I've decided I don't really like it. You don't have to wear it all the time that you're on the range, so I would say, well, it's a little bit heavier than I like, but I could put it on my range bag and then only put it on right before I shoot, and then the weight and the material isn't so important. But I tended to like to dress once and leave the stuff on. So I've been wearing the vest. It's covered with pockets. This vest I've found is pretty much a right-handed vest. I'll stand up here and do a little demo. It's got a large pocket on this side, which would be the weak side for a right-handed person.
For fishing lures.
For fishing lures, exactly. Yeah. So if you're doing a retention reload where you have to stow your magazine as part of the reload, you've got this huge pocket here, which is really nice for dropping the mag in. I'm a lefty, and what I have is these two that are apparently like M16 magazine pouches on this side, which are not all that handy for trying to get my magazine in there on the reload. The other problem is if you use your vest as a place to stow your mag, you're essentially adding an extra step to the reload. Because instead of just going down, stowing your mag, and then coming up with the mag, you've got to go down to stow it, then get rid of the vest, then go to the mags. You're adding an extra step. And a lot of what we're going to be discussing and have been discussing as we go along is economy of motion as a way of hastening your pace. You're not going in manically trying to do things quickly. You're eliminating things that you don't want to have to do more than once. So if you can complete your reload by going down to your belt once and then coming back up to the gun, that's going to be quicker than having to go down into the vest pocket, then get the vest out of the way and go back down to your belt to get at the magazine.
And for what it's worth, we're going to go over reloads in terms of IDPA and IPSC in a
future
episode, so this will make a lot more sense.
Yeah, we're just kind of like going over the basics of selection. So the vest is very popular. A lot of people use them. I've tended to move towards this as a concealment garment.
Infamous Hawaiian shirt.
The Hawaiian shirt. It's more than long enough to conceal a holstered gun on the belt. It's not heavy in weight, and getting it out of the way is what I'm really interested in on reloads and whatnot. So this is my concealment garment of choice. But again, in future episodes, we'll go much more in detail on how your clothing affects certain operations. But for now, those are kind of your choices: a shirt, vest, and we're going to now move on down to
So your pants obviously are part of this whole entire system too, in terms of IDPA, not so much in IPSC.
Exactly.
But in IDPA, you do definitely have some pants that are more tactically. I shouldn't say tactically, but I mean.
Now, see, this is an article of clothing that in IDPA is just as ubiquitous as the vest. These are 511 shorts. And it's an item of clothing that originally was just kind of like utilitarian, like the vest, that has now become almost like shooting specific, as if to say, he's wearing 511 pants, he's got a gun, kind of a thing. And this is the cell phone pocket where everybody puts their spare magazine.
Looks like a magazine pocket.
Exactly. And the thing that's interesting is when the pants were first introduced, they had the cell phone pocket on the right thigh, because if you were right-handed, that's where you'd want your phone. But because it's become a magazine pouch, newer versions of this pant have the cell phone pouch over here because a right-hander will want his mag where he can reach it with his left hand. What's really nice about these pants, and this is kind of the segue from the vest into the pants, is this slash pocket from the front and the back meet on the body center line. If your magazine pouch is right here, you can put your spent magazine on a reload into this pocket. So you reach down to dump your empty mag, and on the way up, get your reload mag. And so that's why I tend to use my pants for both stowing and drawing. You want, rather than having to go to the vest and then to the pants, do everything on the pant, and this is really handy.
So is there a similar pocket on the other side for right-hander shooters, or do they make these things right-handed and left-handed?
Well, they do not make, all of them now have this pocket on the left leg.
Okay.
And so this is my vintage pair that I was able to buy before they changed them, since, again, I'm a lefty. But when you're choosing your stuff, think of it as a system. You've got your vest, which covers your gun, but do you also want to use the vest as the place to stow your magazine on the reload, or do you want to do everything with the pant? Some people stow it in the small of their back when but they're going to their pants for everything, and the vest or the shirt is literally just covering their gun.
So, what about knee pads?
Knee pads, I generally don't use them unless I'm shooting a match where I know there's going to be a lot of kneeling and prone shooting. Like the 3-gun matches that I've shot, the ranges are often in desert areas because that's where you've got enough room to shoot 500-yard rifle shots. And so there's a lot of kneeling and running around on the gravel range floor. And so I will always have knee pads with me at a 3-gun match. I rarely even take them to a pistol match. Usually the range, if it's got a gravel floor or something that's going to be rough on your knees, they'll put a piece of carpet down or something.
But aren't you, because of the rules, somewhat committed if you're going to go with knee pads because of the fact that you can't see them technically?
Yeah,
it's all or nothing, right?
Yeah, in IDPA competition, another one of the rules that's kind of based on this theory that you're not going to be wearing anything on the range that you wouldn't be wearing on the street. You're not allowed to wear visible knee pads. You can wear knee pads that are underneath long pants, but it's, for instance, if you're wearing shorts, no knee pads are allowed. A lot of people that are shooting IDPA are older shooters. They have bad knees, and so it's one of those issues where you've got to kind of decide, am I willing to risk dinging up my knee in order to pursue the sport? But you can always wear long pants and put the knee pads under those. A lot of modern tactical pants will have an internal pocket built right into the knee for a soft knee pad that just slips in there. I actually made some, I cut up a couple of foam mouse pads, and they work fine. And those are perfectly legal and very functional. You don't have to take them on or put them off. Take them off, put them on. When you put your pants on, you've got your knee pads.
But IPSC, we can. We can take them on and put them on.
Exactly. You can do it
either way. So I got something that you can't have. Cleats.
Yeah.
So in IPSC, you're going to pretty much find that everybody's going to be running around with cleats. IPSC is, I would probably argue, a little more dynamic than IDPA is in terms of the running and things like that. So it's really necessary to be able to start and stop quickly and efficiently when running around in IPSC stages, particularly when it comes to stopping, because there's nothing worse than moving into a shooting position, putting your foot into where you think it's going to be a stable location, and then sliding 3 or 4 feet additional as you're moving along. So these are Nike Landsharks, standard football cleat, rubber cleats, very good traction. You'll see a lot of shooters wearing these. They run about $45 or so, give or take. Make sure that you get the ones with the rubber cleats and the cleats all the way across the bottom. You're going to find some that have a couple and then a gap and then more cleats in the back. These ones have cleats all over. The one thing you really need to be careful when wearing these is if you run into a situation in a stage where you have a wood ramp, and particularly if that wood ramp gets wet, these are things that are like ice. You will slip. A lot of times on those stages, they'll put down like grip tape or skateboard tape or something like that to keep people from sliding. Because they know the fact that everybody's wearing cleats and they know the dangers. So, at any rate, so what do you have that's like this, Rick?
I don't have anything like that.
Yeah, I bet you don't.
I generally wear just a pair of cross trainers, whatever I've been able to get at the sporting goods store for $25 to $35. They provide pretty good traction on the variety of range surfaces on which I've shot. Locally, most of our ranges are gravel or rock covered, but we'll also shoot in some ranges where the range floor is sand. Some ranges, the range floor is grass.
Yeah.
And I've found that the cross trainers do a pretty good job. And again, IDPA does not allow these specific sports cleats because that's not your normal
Everyday,
day-to-day
yeah.
wear. You know, when you're out on the
Right.
street, you're not
Right.
wearing cleats, and so they're not allowed for that
You
reason.
don't?
Well, I would argue that if I wore these every day for a week, would they then be my normal wear? And I would be shot down for contending that. But yeah, your footwear should just be comfortable and provide an enhanced amount of traction compared to something like a sneaker that you would wear, you know, on a gym floor or whatever. You should have something that's got some knobbly grip on the bottom. And there actually are some shoes that are not quite cleats by definition, but provide a lot better traction than a typical athletic shoe. And those will fly for all the sports. They just are essentially a regular shoe with enhanced traction.
Okay, so anything else to add?
Not about shoes.
Okay. Well, you can go visit our website at powerfactorshow.com. If you have any questions or suggestions for shows or anything you want answered, powerfactorshow@gmail.com. That's it. See you next time.